Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first webinar. It will be FIT A100, Individualizing Your Gains. So if you missed our 1-hour class on this topic, this is your chance to catch up. This webinar is all about how to maximize your time in and out of the training center. I'll be your host, Ryan Humphreys, co-owner and instructor of Axistence Athletics. Let's get rolling. Before we get right into how to maximize the program, let's talk a little bit about the overview of the program. So, our program in Axistence is geared towards general physical preparedness. What does that mean? Great question. To us, general physical preparedness, aka GPP, means to be physically and mentally prepared to tackle anything that life may throw at you, comfortably and confidently. That might be hiking a 14er, going whitewater rafting, climbing, mountain biking, keep up with your kids, grandkids, all that stuff. How do we get people generally physically prepared? Well, that's a great question too. We take what works from the most successful fitness programs on the planet, and we simply trim off what doesn't. So, as you guys know, we take a little bit of CrossFit, a little bit of parkour, a little bit of MoveNat, TRX, kettlebells. Specifically, CrossFit's 10 fitness domains: the cardiovascular and respiratory endurance, stamina, strength, flexibility, power, speed, coordination, agility, balance, and accuracy. We're going to train all of these things throughout the year in our program. And although thrusters, toes to bar, and snatches are absolutely fantastic, we also like to include MoveNat's 10 principles of things being practical, things being adaptable, efficient, vital, instinctual, cooperative, environmental, evolutionary, unspecialized, and universal. That means we're going to be using skills that people have been doing for thousands and thousands of years, kind of what we call species-specific movement. Humans should be able to run, crawl, jump, throw, catch, carry. Our program is geared for general physical preparedness, and if we do follow that program diligently, our members get stronger, faster, leaner, more mobile, more agile. But aside from getting generally physically prepared, over the last few years, we found that our members are also extremely interested in two things. Number one, losing excess body fat, and number two, building muscle. Fun fact, if you take two people of equal height and weight, the stronger one will always look better naked. This is in large part due to the fact that muscle takes up less space than fat, right? So this is what people mean when they say they want to quote-unquote tone up. The stronger you are and the less body fat you have, the more quote toned you will look. Remember folks, weights do not make you bulky, but donuts will. Okay, so where do we start? We start with honesty. It's the best policy. Be honest with yourself. So 1, are you tracking your training? Are you writing this stuff down? You say yes, I say awesome, high five. You say no, and I say go get a planner and start doing that. Next up, we'll ask, are you tracking your food? You say yes, double high five. You say no, we say go get a planner. If another goal of yours is specifically fat loss, we're going to have to track progress, right? You have to make sure that you're getting to your goal. So how do we do that? Well, 3 things, all right? Tracking your progress. You're going to want to track your scale weight, the weight on the scale. We'd recommend doing that 2 times a week at the same time, same day. So maybe it's every Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. Whenever it is, twice a week, or time, same day. So every Monday and Wednesday at noon, whatever that is, figure it out. Body fat percentage, we would recommend doing that 2 times a month. Again, same time, same day. You could do that with the handheld Omron. You could have one of us pinch you, or you could do a DEXA scan. You probably don't want to do a DEXA scan twice a month, okay? Before and after pictures, 2 times a month. So maybe it's the 1st and 15th, whatever that is, snap a picture, preferably from the same angle, to make sure that you get results. Step 2, track your food. Track your food, and then track it again. Fun fact, I have never worked with anybody who kept a food journal and did not lose fat. Okay, so let's dig a little bit deeper. Body weight is going to equal the amount of food/calories consumed. So how much you weigh is a direct correlation between food and calories you are eating. Alright, your body fat percentage is kind of the quality or nutrient density of your food consumed plus how strong you are. As far as how strong you are, you've all seen that strength standards book we have in the training center. If you shoot for the intermediate numbers in that book, you should be well on your way. So shoot for intermediate first, and then you can start pushing into advance. We're going to have you track for 2 weeks. Are you down on the scale? You're down in scale weight? Well, continue to eat in a similar fashion. Nice work, high five. Are you up in weight? Now we need to control your portion sizes. Okay, we're eating too much. Are you staying the same? Now it's time to decrease portion sizes and add better food choices. So what do we mean by better food choices exactly? Well, to quote one of my favorite strength coaches, Dan John, we will tell you to eat like an adult. Alright? Don't pretend that you don't know eating your vegetables is good for you. You're a grown-up. Learn how to plan your meals, prepare your food, alright, and actually cook it. Oh, you're having cereal? That's cute. What are you, 9? Look, if it had a mother, or you can eat it in its raw state, it's probably real food. Okay, so let's pretend the food is now on track, meaning you're logging it. You're eating like an adult. Good for you. High five. Too many high fives? No such thing. Fitness for fat loss. Alright, your strength exercises are going to be completely covered by our programming. That's going to be at least 4 a week. We need to be hitting strength exercises at least 4 times a week. Interval training, preferably performed after the WOD, somewhere between 2 and 3 times a week, possibly more than that. We can also add some low-intensity cardio, somewhere between 60% or 70% of that max heart rate, preferably performed before the WOD. Alright? Again, as long as you're getting it in there, that's the most important part. That could be at least 2 times a week, and that could be walking, hiking, biking, hopping on the rowing machine, things like that. But Ryan, what kind of intervals should I do? Well, here's an example program that just about anybody can take and run with. Okay? So bear with me for just a second. It's going to get a little bit hairy. Example, 12-week interval program. Okay? For the first couple weeks, 1 and 2, take 10 minutes and go 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off. Okay? Maybe this is rowing, maybe it's ski erg, maybe it's the airdyne, maybe it's burpees. Okay? The next couple weeks, weeks 3 and 4, stick with 10 minutes, 2 times a week, but this time you're going to go 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. You might want to take a snapshot of this screen. So weeks 5 and 6, let's bump that up to 12 minutes. Now we're going for 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. We can even add another week if you're feeling froggy. Weeks 7 and 8, you're going to stick with 12 minutes, 3 times a week. This time we're going 20 on, 40 off, just like we started with. Weeks 9 and 10, we can bump up another couple minutes. If you're feeling good, we'll head to 14 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And for the lap of weeks 11 and 12, how about 16 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. Cool? Next, I'm going to talk about low-intensity cardio. So here's the breakdown. An example of a 12-week low-intensity cardio program, remember, this is all in addition to everything that you're doing in the gym. Okay? Weeks 1 through 4, hit 10 minutes before the workout. Do this twice a week. Maybe it's a 2K row on the rower. Maybe it's a 2K row on the ski erg. Gross. Alright? Weeks 5 through 8. Alright, so the second month essentially. How about 12 minutes? Alright, before the workout, 2 to 3 times a week. And then you can add 20 minutes outside of class, 1 time a week. Maybe it's a long walk with your dog. Maybe it's a nice little stroll on the beach. Weeks 9 and 10, 12 minutes before the workout. Now we can hit this 4 times a week. It's just 12 minutes, guys. And 25 minutes outside of class, maybe twice a week. 2 long strolls on the beach. Last couple weeks, 12 minutes before the workout, 4 days a week, 30 minutes outside of class, 2 to 3 times per week. If you knock all of that, plus the workouts that you're doing in the gym, eating well and sleeping well, guaranteed you are going to be burning through some fat. Okay, quick fat loss review. So your body weight, or scale weight, is going to really equal the amount of food / calories that you're consuming. Your body fat percentage, on the other hand, or how kind of quote-unquote toned you look, is a combination of how nutrient-dense your diet is and how strong you are. Track your progress and log your food. If you really want to see results on paper, you're going to have to track it. So, you can also add intervals to your program. You can add low-intensity cardio. And also, we didn't mention this before, but protein needs to be consumed at every meal. Now, that's going to look like about a palm-sized portion of protein for females and approximately 2 palm sizes for males. This is crucial. Next up, sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Minimum of 7 hours a night and up to 9. So shoot for 8 hours of sleep. And pop quiz, what is the most important workout of the week? That's a great question. The answer is meal planning and preparation. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about a different goal of building muscle. So if your goal was specifically fat loss, feel free to stop listening to this presentation right now. Take what you've learned and roll with it. However, if you'd like to get into building muscle, hang out. So step number 1, track your progress. All right, take measurements yourself or have a friend do it, a trainer, but measure yourself about 2 times per month. All right, this could be biceps, hips, waist, quads, calves, really wherever you want to build that muscle, that's where you're going to want to measure. Your body fat percentage should probably be checked 2 times a month, also on the same times, same days. And don't forget your before and after pictures. Ideally take these twice a month, maybe the 1st and 15th. Step number 2, track your food. Fun fact, I've never worked with anyone who kept a food journal and did not build muscle. Quick disclaimer, let's make sure this goal is right for you. Okay, so if your goal is muscle gain, men, your body fat should already be under 15%. Women, your body fat should already be under 23%. Now, can you build muscle if your body fat is higher than that? Yes, but I don't think it's going to give you the results that you're looking for. So, if this is not the case, perhaps we should reevaluate your goals. What exactly builds muscle? Well, the biggest thing here is going to be your nutrition, but consistency overall, whether that's consistency in the kitchen or consistency in the fitness center. So if we dive a little bit deeper into the exercise science, we're talking about sets of 6, reps of 6 to 12, rest periods somewhere between 30 and 90 seconds. All right, now that's assuming that you are consistently hitting workouts. The most important thing is that you just show up. All right, if we dive a little bit deeper, we can get into your ratios and getting your ratios on track. So if you're already tracking everything else, now it might be time to dive into your carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and where you're allocating your calories. So I've chosen the 40-30-30 because of a couple reasons. Generally, the quintessential mesomorph has the goal of building muscle. All right, Precision Nutrition recommends the 40-30-30 for the mesomorphs. This is also the ratio that the Zone diet recommends. And here's a breakdown of what that would look like. Let's say I'm eating 2,500 calories, and I break that down into 40% carbs, 30% fat, 30% protein. That means I need 1,000 calories from carbs, 750 calories from fat, and 750 calories from protein. We know that there are approximately 4 calories in 1 gram of carbohydrate, so you're looking at about 250 grams of carbs. All right, there are about 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. That's where we get the 83 grams of fat. And there are approximately 4 calories in every 1 gram of protein, putting you at about 188 grams of protein. Make sense? let's talk about some extra work you can put in while you're in the training center. Okay? So extra work meaning bonus sets. This could be an extra set of presses, an extra set of rows, an extra set of hinges, an extra set of squats, before the workout, after the workout, maybe even during the workout. Ideally, we want to keep these reps somewhere between the 6 and 12. We want to keep the sets somewhere between 3 to 6. All right? Now, how does that work if there's an EMOM in the strength? Take an example. Let's say we have a 15-minute EMOM of 2 hang power cleans. Well, 2 repetitions doesn't really fit into our reps of 6 to 12, right? Nor does it fit into our sets of 3 to 6, and that's okay. We're working on a different adaptation. But during that 15-minute EMOM of 2 hang power cleans, if you wanted to, you could complete those 2 power cleans, but then add anywhere from 6 to 12 push-ups after every 2 cleans. The goal here is to try to maximize the amount of work you're putting in within the hour. Let's talk a little bit more about extra work that we can do in the training center. Here's an example. Somebody says, I want a bigger back. I want a stronger back. All right, well, post-WOD, grab some dumbbells, knock out 3 to 6 sets of 6 to 12 reps of single arm rows. All right, another example, well, I want bigger / stronger legs. Okay, after the WOD, grab some dumbbells, grab some kettlebells, and do several sets of walking lunges. Slow and controlled. Let's just say you're the skinny kid looking to increase muscle mass everywhere. After the WOD, grab the heaviest thing you can hold on to for at least 1 minute and walk around with them. This is going to stress your entire body. All right, set those things down for a minute, pick them back up, and walk around again. Now we're talking heavy here, somewhere like the 75, 85, 125 pound dumbbells. If you can pick it up for a minute, walk around with it, set it down, and repeat. Now it's time to eat. How much? That's a great question. So building muscle is quite a bit harder than losing fat. It's much easier to lose fat than it is to build muscle. Nobody wants to hear that, whether it's the fat burners or the muscle builders. But it's true. It's possible for you to stack on 1 to 3 pounds of muscle safely and effectively per month. However, you're going to have to eat a lot. How much? Well, take your current scale weight in pounds, and assuming that you're extremely active, like 5 to 7 times a week active, working out hard, multiply that scale weight by 20 to 22. So that's 150 pounds. You would take 150, multiply it by 20, and you wind up with 3,000. 3,000 calories is the number of calories that you're probably going to need to eat per day. Based on the information we learned earlier, you can take those same macronutrient ratios and figure out exactly how many calories and grams you need to eat of each macronutrient: carbs, fats, and proteins. It's not rocket science, but it is exercise science. Without getting too deep into a presentation about hormones, we're going to lightly skim the surface on one hormone in particular, insulin. So when it comes to muscle growth, insulin is extremely important. And this is how it works. So you eat carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are broken down into blood glucose. Your insulin is then secreted to regulate that blood glucose, because your body realizes if your blood glucose gets too high, you're going to have a stroke, and you're probably going to die. So thankfully, the pancreas is there to say, all right, insulin, do your work, grab that blood glucose, let's shuttle it into the muscles, or store it as fat. So insulin is essentially the storage hormone, which is awesome if we're looking to shuttle things in the muscles like protein and carbohydrate. On the other hand, if your insulin is spiked throughout the day, you could be in storage mode more than you want to be. So if muscle building without fat gain is the goal, the optimal time to ingest those fast-acting carbohydrates is within about 30 minutes of a difficult workout. Although there is a quote-unquote optimal time to ingest those carbohydrates, depending on your current level of body fat or your current body fat percentage, you may be able to get away with eating those starchy carbohydrates at other times of the day. For instance, If you're less than 10% body fat, you can probably get away with having starchy carbs at breakfast and after your workout without putting on any extra fat. However, if you're more like 10-15% body fat and you're trying to lose and build muscle, you may want to keep those starches for post-workout only. Easier said than done? Yes. Now, you can have starches at other times of the day, just be careful with their portion sizes. When it comes to carbohydrate, especially starchy carbohydrate portion size, we're looking at about 1 cupped handful for females and 2 cupped handfuls for males. Otherwise, you have the potential to put on excess body fat. So let's say we go back to our example of that 150-pound individual who's needing to eat 3,000 calories a day. Let's say they eat 2 meals. Cool, they have 2 1,500-calorie meals. Actually, that's not cool, because fun fact, if you consume more than about 750 calories in one setting, you'll likely be storing fat as well. So rather than eat 2 to 3 meals a day with these huge portion sizes, this is kind of where that whole 4 to 6 meals a day may work better for someone trying to build muscle. Now, quick summary on muscle gain. Number 1, consistency. In the kitchen and in the training center. Back to those sets of 3 to 6, reps of 6 to 12. Now, if you hit a 15th rep, does that mean you're not going to build any muscle? Or if you only hit 5, it's going to ruin your gains? Absolutely not. But as a general rule of thumb, this is somewhere where you should be. Eat like a horse and time your carbs appropriately. Try to get at least 1 gram of protein for every pound of lean body mass that you wish to have. Alright? And sleep, 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 and sleep some more. Every time you get a really good night's sleep, your body is secreting growth hormone. Growth hormone, aka steroids on the black market, is pretty awesome when it comes to muscle building. So sleep is kind of like free steroids. Supplement your workouts with extra gains. Alright, before the WOD, after the WOD, get in some extra work. In summary, the programming here at Axistence Athletics in our 300 level classes is designed for general physical preparedness. That means it's designed to get our members stronger, faster, lean, more mobile, and all around more badass. However, if for whatever reason you're not seeing the results you're looking for and you're following the program diligently, it may be time to implement some of these strategies or tactics. And if you'd like to work with one of our coaches on an individual basis for more of a personalized approach, please check out our programs online. Thank you guys for bearing with us on our first webinar from Axistence Athletics. Hope you have a fantastic day, and if you have any questions, as always, please call, email, text, yell at us. Just get our attention and ask us questions. I would like to give some shout outs here to John Hardy of Precision Nutrition, Dan John of danjohn.net, Josh Hillis, losethestubbornfat.com, Greg Glassman of CrossFit.com, and Erwan LaCour from MoveNet.com. Also, I'd like to give a quick shout out to YouTube because that's how I learned how to make a webinar. See you later.